Have you ever seen the picture of the Brady Bunch that silenced everyone? You're going to have a terrific time if you haven't already. You won't believe what we found today as we delved into some startling behind-the-scenes mysteries of this adored television program. You will be completely surprised by what we have in store, so stick with me through to the very end. Now, The Brady Bunch was an immediate hit when it debuted in 1969 and ran until 1974. Mike and Carol, who each had 3 children from prior marriages, brought together a mixed family that was the subject of the episode. Together with their adorable cat Tiger and their eccentric servant Alice, they occupied a lovely home. After being portrayed as idealized on television, the family unit swiftly became the norm in American homes. To put it mildly, however, the conditions behind those TV displays were not quite ideal. We're going to learn some really weird stories. Prepare yourself then. Viewers couldn't help but fall in love with the Brady family because they were so realistic for their time. However, mysteries started to surface as the show came to an end, and I'm not referring to trivial matters. This is a huge, thrilling drama that no one was aware of. Did you note, for instance, that the show never brought up Carol's prior marriage? Yes, exactly. Carol was widowed. But Mike? The producers decided it would be best to omit that small detail from the show because she was divorced. The ideal family was the focus of the sitcom, but the real world was far more complicated. The show's makers believed that discussing divorce or other real-life concerns was inappropriate because Mike and Carol had their own pasts. Divorce was still viewed as a taboo topic in the 1960s. Carol became the first-time bride, and Mike became the widowed parent. They kept telling that story, and it was effective. Now, let's discuss the show's casting. Behind the scenes, the casting process was a little hectic, despite what many people think. Before choosing the 6 Brady children, the show's creator, Sherwood Schwartz, screened over 1,000 children. He needed them to be flawless. Consequently, he ensured that the kids' hairstyles reflected those of their television parents. Yes, exactly. The children have to look exactly like their parents in the movie. Is it possible? A family with children that are both blonde and brown like their parents. Let's go on to the exciting part now. As you may be aware, Mike Brady's actor Robert Reed wasn't too pleased with the way his role was depicted. Being cast in a silly sitcom was not exactly his ideal role because he was a serious Shakespearean actor. Nor did Reed mince words. He critiqued the scripts in handwritten notes addressed to the show's creator. He felt that the comedy and drama didn't work well together, and that the plot was nonsensical. He nevertheless made 5 seasons of appearances on the show in spite of everything. Just think of the set stress. Another shocking fact is that Sherwood Schwartz, the show's creator, and Robert Reed were frequently at conflict. Reed even tried to resolve the conflict by directing a couple of episodes because they couldn't agree. Despite their dispute, many considered Reed to be one of the greatest TV fathers ever. His gloomy portrayal of Mike Brady established the norm for fathers on television. Off-camera, however, his discontent with the show was widely known. It is important to remember Florence Henderson, who portrayed the legendary Carol Brady. Carol was viewed by fans as the ideal TV mother, but Florence faced her own difficulties. During the run of the show, she struggled with depression and even went through a divorce. She was able to preserve her reputation as the devoted mother by keeping everything from the public. However, Florence was juggling some difficult personal matters behind the scenes. However, her perseverance is truly remarkable, and she went on to use her personal challenges as a relationship therapist to help others. Do you think it's possible? Carol Brady, whom we all know and love, was going through her own personal struggles. Then there was the internal conflict among the performers. Let's discuss the rivalry between Eve Plum and Jan and Marcia, the characters created by Maureen McCormick. The play's main story point was this competition, but it involved more than just performing. Behind the scenes, the 2 actresses had their own problems. Eve Plum, who portrayed Jan, was frequently eclipsed by Marcia, played by Maureen McCormick. The actresses had to cope with family rivalry in addition to their jobs. Eve was inextricably linked to Maureen's fame and beauty. But hold on, things get much stranger. Did you know that Susan Olsen, who played Cindy, and Maureen had been involved in some serious problems before? Both of them engaged in shoplifting, which led to a number of hazardous circumstances. Despite the fact that she didn't actually need any of the items she took, Maureen later claimed that she was motivated by the excitement of stealing. This continued for some time before things got out of hand. This was a crucial time in Maureen's life since the two had to deal with the fallout. All of this took place behind the scenes of one of the most wholesome television families ever. Isn't that ridiculous? Let's now examine Florence Henderson and Barry Williams' relationship in more detail. Barry, who played Greg Brady on the show, was the object of Florence's intense crush. However, Barry was also attracted to Florence. Despite their disparate ages, the two fell in love with one another, but Florence insisted time and again that Barry was only her son. Barry, well, he kept his crush a secret, and she respected him too much to tell. However, their interactions, both on and off camera, made it evident that they had a unique bond. Greg Brady never kissed anyone on TV, even though he had a lot of romantic stories on the show. Few people are aware of this truth. Yes, exactly. Despite having several romances, Greg was never permitted to kiss anyone on the show. Fans ridiculed this, since it was out of the ordinary for a show at the time. Kisses were never shown on television because the Brady Bunch sought to maintain a clean, family-friendly atmosphere. However, the Brady children weren't always that naive. The only person kissed in the episode was Bobby Brady, the youngest son. In one instance, a girl named Millis kissed him on the cheek during a party. The scene was significant despite its briefness, particularly in light of the film's other characters' lack of warmth. Mary Kay and Johnny were another well-known couple on television before the Bradys. Although it was controversial at the time, they were the first TV couple to share a bed. Despite their apparent pioneer status, the Bradys were carrying on the tradition of a trailblazing couple who had already broken that barrier. You will be amazed by this fresh mystery surrounding the Brady Bunch. The program had a difficult beginning, despite the fact that they were presented as a lovely family. At first, its ratings weren't very high. However, it eventually gained popularity and is today regarded as one of the most cherished television programs ever. Isn't that absurd? I hope this film has changed your opinion of the Brady Bunch, after educating you about some of its startling truths. Please remember to like and subscribe for more amazing TV secrets if you thought this was fascinating. To ensure you don't miss any new videos, don't forget to click the notification bell. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon.